Join me today to see why I'm never, ever gonna do another takeout pizza again. Absolutely delicious, made at home, super easy, in a Kamado or an oven. First thing we have to do is get our dough ready. I have 280 grams of some water here. Just gonna temp chop it. Should be just over 100 degrees. Add about 5 grams of honey and 5 grams of yeast. Let's give that a stir, set that to the side for about 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, add 280 grams of some pizza flour, bread flour, or all-purpose flour to a mixer, handful of salt, and our bloomed yeast water. Put that on low, let that get all incorporated. Once it's incorporated, I'm going to let it go for about 10 minutes. Your mixer should be able to sling the dough out and make a nice tight ball, and then sling the dough out again continuously about every 5 seconds. That's how it's going to get nice and kneaded. If not, do it by hand for about 10 minutes. After that 10 minutes, we're going to add water slowly up to 30 grams. Once it stops wanting to take the extra water, we're going to stop. I use about half of my 30 grams here. You'll notice here on this pour, it gets nice and sticky on the side. So this is where I'm going to stop. And once it absorbs all that water, I'm going to turn our mixer up to the highest dough setting and let that go for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, food lube a bowl, throw our dough in, give it a nice pack because it's going to go good night. Put some cling wrap on top, nice and sealed. Put a towel on top just to keep the temperature consistent. Turn the lights off because it needs to sleep too. After about 4 to 6 hours, we're going to take the towel off. It's doubled in size. We're making 2 pizzas out of this one ball, so we're going to cut it in half. I get pretty lucky here. I have 365 on one ball and 363 on the other ball. I'm not going to worry about the 1 gram difference. Set that to the side, and we're just going to fold the dough in on itself continuously. Turn it upside down here just to show you what I'm doing on the bottom side. We're just pinching continuously. And then we're going to roll that on the board just to make sure everything's nice and tight. Fast forward the other one. Roll. Food lube a tray. Put our dough on there. Cover with a towel. Turn the light off so it can sleep. And now to make a sauce. Nice low temp, some oil, some butter. Not going to measure anything. Once that's melted, we're going to add some garlic. This is about 2 to 3 cloves worth. Some fish sauce. Don't skip this. It adds an amazing flavor that you will not want to be missing out on. Once it comes to a little boil, we're going to add a small jar of some tomato paste. Get that stirred in. And then a 32-ounce can of some tomato sauce, some basil. Stir that in. Handful of salt, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of sugar. Let that simmer for about a couple hours. And it should be nice and incorporated. All right, our balls have been going. We're going to flatten those out. Just stretch them every few minutes. They'll want to rebound to their old shape. The gluten, that's just what it does. So if you just give it a few minutes, stretch it, a few minutes, stretch it, it'll come to the size you want. So I'm just going to do that in the background. I'm not going to show you every time I stretch that dough out. All right, I can use some of our Jealous Devil Max. Dump that into our basket here in the Kamado Joe. We're going to move the briquettes to the side. So you have a nice valley in the middle. Put some tumbleweeds, get them lit. Put our chimney on top of the tumbleweeds and dump in some cheap ass Kingsford I had laying around. Got to use it for something. Perfect place for it, just to light our Jealous Devil. All right, got a heat-proof glove on. get our accessory rack into the grill here. And we're going to get our heat deflectors heat soaked. Get them gradually brought up to temperature. All right, once we're about 650 inside, we're going to put everything else in. So one thing, if you don't have a 3-tier rack, you just have 2 or 1 or whatever, put your heat deflectors together. And you can use something that's about 1.5 inches. Here I am using some sockets from a wrench set. And then you put your pizza stone directly on top of those, and you have your air gap you need. I have a 3-tier rack, so I'm just going to remove these, throw one into the fire right there. Put our grates on the top tier eventually. There we go. And then I'll put the pizza stone directly on top of the top rack. Close the lid down, let it come up to temp. While that's coming up to temp, we'll go ahead and sauce our dough here. This is the sauce I just made. Some fresh shredded dry moisture mozzarella. And I'm going to be using salami here because pepperoni is not a thing in Italy. You can pause it, read it, but yeah, pepperoni is not a real thing. So we'll get our salami on, and I'm going to add some hot banana peppers. Use whatever toppings you like. It doesn't really matter. It's your preference at this point. And then here I have some high moisture mozzarella to finish up our pizza. Completely different texture, taste, everything. So they're not the same thing. Just that goes on last. Along with some Parmesan. Just shave that over our pizza. Smack the camera a few times apparently. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our pizza onto the pizza stone. Close the lid down immediately. And every few minutes, we're just gonna come out here and we're gonna give our pizza a nice turn. It should be cooking evenly, but no grill is going to do it perfectly, so it's best just to turn it. And every few minutes, come out and do the same thing. You'll notice I have a few blisters coming up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little hook here. And we're going to pop all those blisters just so they go down. And of course, give it another turn. Just why not? All right, we're going to pull this off. Looks done to me. Get this taken inside, cut up. And if you don't have a rocker knife, I highly suggest a rocker knife over a pizza cutting wheel. Just much easier to use. And we'll get that slice pulled off here. Amazing. All right, here's a side view of the air pockets created. Underside of the crust. I'll get you a better view here in a second, I promise. Yeah, there we go. Amazingly cooked pizza crust. And here's my kid's. He just did his own. We use parchment paper instead of the cornmeal on the bottom. Just to be different, show you different ways of doing it. But yeah, here's his pizza. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a comment about your favorite pizza toppings, and I hope to see you in the next video. Be sure to check out this other amazing video.